Yeah.
So it's not that big of a deal to drive. So.
Yeah.
Alright, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Well, I'll either be in college or I will be recently out of college. And so that's really all I know so far. Because life as a teenager right now, there's not an awful lot of planning going on. But I will probably still have a dashcam channel as long as, I don't know what would get in the way of that, but as long as I live in a place that has like bad drivers, I will keep that going, which would be kind of hard to get away from. Other than that, that's all I know. College. Future plans. So specific.
Have you ever traveled outside of Colorado or the U.S.?
Yes.
If so, which states or countries? And how was the driving experience in other countries?
Well, let's see. I'll start with the states. I've been to 27 states. I'll probably make a little map for those of you who want to see it. Pretty much everything on the Front Range, and then north, and then east I've been to. And then the other countries, I've been to Canada, which obviously isn't that much different because you can just drive over the border. I've been to England and Scotland, which I wasn't allowed to drive there because that'd be really confusing and I'd end up driving down the wrong side of the road. But it was weird. Like walking out of the airport and getting in the bus, it was like the entire earth just kind of flipped. And it was hard to keep track of anything because I'd never been out of the country before that, and it was just kind of like too much was changing too fast and I couldn't keep track of it all. As for driving there, I noticed a lot of people rode bikes and motorcycles, which was pretty cool to see compared to here where most people are, almost everyone is in a car. That'd be interesting. And you know, just the usual interesting things, nothing too notable. And I think that's it for, I may be going to Australia later in the summer, but that's it for being out of the country.
Do you prefer driving off roads or in the snow?
That was your question.
Turns out, this is my favorite one.
The snow, just because the snow is nicer to a car than rocks are, and so I can go whatever speed in snow as long as I'm not like sliding off the road and the car is still okay with it. The other thing that's nice about snow is I just think it's more fun because it's challenging no matter what speed you're going, and it really doesn't hurt the car all that much.
And in the winter, it's more accessible.
Yeah, and it's kind of everywhere at that point.
This is a question. So he lives in Colorado Springs and was wondering if you have driven up Pike's Peak before.
I have, but it's been a long, long time. I was halfway up it last year, but I couldn't tell you about anything going up really because last year I was up there at like 6 in the morning, so I wasn't exactly awake yet. And the time I did it before that, I was probably like 8 or so. All I remember is you get to the top and the view is really cool, and I know it's a worthwhile drive as long as you know how to engine brake, because otherwise you're just going to drive off a cliff if you try to use your brakes the entire way down. Because
brakes will die. Pretty
much boil and then disintegrate. That'll be the end of that. But that's all I know about that. So much for living here, not even knowing about the biggest attraction.
The donuts up there are really good.
Yes. You go there, you have to get a donut. There is no discussion there.
Well, they make them differently because you're up at 14,000 feet. And so they taste just a little bit off, but they're legitimately delicious.
They are, yes. I can vouch for that too. They're like fried, and they don't put anything on them, at least when I was there last. But
other than like chocolate frosting.
Yeah, they are stellar. is probably the best word to describe that.
All right, so next one. Since it's Colorado you live, I have to ask, do you smoke weed?
The answer to that is definitely no, because being underage for that, I think you have to be 21 to do so, and so not only would that be illegal, but I'm pretty strong against drug use, so definite no on that. Same for Zach here too. I hope that you don't mind if they know your name.
Okay.
But I have been asked for it a lot. There was a guy recently who was broken down on the side of the road, and I asked him if he wanted anything, and all he said he wanted was some weed. And I was like, well, sorry dude, I don't carry that around with me. But I know a lot of you have asked me about like the effects of that. Personally, I haven't really noticed it all that much. I don't know, have you? Like, it's real, people use it in private, and it's not that bad.
I mean, you can definitely tell when people are using it, and it smells really bad.
Yes.
So all that good stuff, but it's just kind of become a norm.
Yeah, and it's not like everyone downtown is doing that or anything. It's just kind of the revenue it's been bringing in is a lot better than the consequences of it.
All right. Do you think you will dash cam in other states?
Yes, and I already have, actually. I've been to Utah, every state from here to Indiana, I've had a dash cam in. And then, well, Utah and then Montana this next week. I think I'll be driving up there. So that one already is a yes, but I haven't gotten much clips just because it's all like the interstate in the middle of nowhere. The intro from my last video, some of you might remember, was that was from Utah. Other than that, I haven't really gotten much from other states, just because it's been all interstate time and not much happens on the interstate.
Alright, next question is, tell me about your Datsun trailer.
Oh yeah, I remember you were really excited about the little gray pickup bed trailer I had. That's pretty much all there is to say about it. It was an old Datsun pickup with the bed or the cab chopped off, and then someone welded a tongue on it. It was a really ghetto trailer, and even though we sold that, it was pretty nice to have. I mean, if you put any weight in it, it would like fishtail really bad because the pickup wasn't exactly designed to be used with only 2 wheels. So I can't exactly say I'd recommend trying to build one or anything, but I mean, it was a nice trailer for what we had to use it for.
Were you on regular car reviews?
No, I get the idea of where you got that idea from. They reviewed a pilot that was just like this, pretty much. But no, that definitely was not me. I've never been face-to-face in contact with any other major YouTube channel. Even a lot of the ones in Colorado. I've tried once, but that just doesn't work like that, really. So the answer to that one is no, that was not me, sadly.
When you go off-road, where do you find these roads and where do you go?
But that's kind of a broad answer because... No, broad answer.
Oh, sorry.
My answer is broad. Because the answer is literally everywhere. Wherever I happen to be, I often find 4-wheel drive trails or just Forest Service roads that look cool. For those of you around the Springs, I go a lot off of both Rampart Range Road and Old Stage Road. Some numbers specifically, 379 is a really cool trail, and so is 381. That's where the questions part of this Q&A video was filmed, was on 381. Both of which are relatively short trails. The 379 is a bit more challenging, but it's longer. There's a few stream crossings, and you can also do it in the winter, which is cool. The 381 is pretty short, unless you have like a off-road modified vehicle, because you end up at this really, really steep rocky hill that you definitely need a lift and some bigger tires and even even a stock Jeep would probably struggle with it just because it's really, really loose.
Alright, do you like pizza?
Of course I like pizza.
Little Caesars or Domino's?
You know, I've never even had Little Caesars pizza.
What? You've never had Little Caesars?
I've never had Little Caesars.
Oh my goodness.
In my life. That's your job. You're the one that
Alright.
always gives me pizza anyways.
I prefer Papa John's, I'm sorry.
So,
Or Marco's.
the answer to that is probably Domino's, because otherwise I don't know. What do you think?
I prefer Little Caesars just because it's cheaper.
Yep, I have
And-
heard about that. That'll probably
Mhm.
be a very common college meal
Yeah.
for me.
I don't know. I just like I like the cheese on there. I prefer Marco's or Papa John's
Yeah.
than anyone.
Yeah, even though I do like Domino's stuff, or the spread they put on their crust is quite delicious.
Mm-hmm. All right, what is your favorite food?
Oh, it depends on the day. I really like chicken parmesan if I'm feeling Italian, but kind of in general, I don't even know. Probably like a pasta of some sort is what I like the most. There's too many foods out there and they're all too good. You can't single one out like that. Make the rest of them feel bad.
All right. How do you like your car?
I think this car is amazing. That pretty much sums up my entire fit. Like, I use it, as many of you see, I use it like it's a truck. I tow trailers with it, I tow other people with it, I take it off-road, and it's definitely not as much of a truck as I think it is, but it does pretty amazing for being pretty much, I call it a theoretical minivan because it's a minivan without the body style. But yeah, I think anyone that wants an SUV should definitely consider one of these, especially because it has 8 seat belts, which is really nice for someone like me who's always driving other teenagers around. And although it does not get too fantastic of gas mileage, it's like 16 to 22 depending, like city highway, that's the rating. It kind of makes up for it in how it drives. It definitely drives. It's really heavy. It's the heaviest car in its class, but it drives like a sedan pretty much, which is definitely a plus because in a city, like, parking it is easy. I can park wherever I want and not have any issue with it.
Is your Pilot a manual? Due to, I hear your e-brake a few times.
No matter how much I wish it to be, they didn't sell this car in manual, so that would be a no. I guess I'll answer the second part of that. The e-brake I use just because when you put this in park, it kind of rolls around a lot and it gets kind of concerning. And so I usually use the e-brake, and then it just kind of became a habit after a while. It also removes strain from the transmission, which is always nice, but no, it's not a manual, even though I would like it to be.
What is your favorite thing to do for fun?
I think the winner there is, hi, how are you? Is mountain biking. With all the mountains around here, it's kind of hard to get both all the trails and such. Other than that, I really like to rock climb, and I like to run. I'm more of an outdoor person. I don't necessarily play video games or spend all that much time inside, and if I am inside, it's either on YouTube or video editing. And those are pretty much, that takes up all my time.
If you're given the opportunity, would you take the 2016 Pilot?
That is definitely a no, for a few reasons. One, this generation of Pilot, the first generation, is a lot more off-road worthy, which I definitely like. I don't really like the looks of the 2016 that much. It definitely took on the shape of an Odyssey, and it isn't designed as much for what I like to do with an SUV. There's kind of been a progression with Honda. The first generation, they just dumped literally everything you could possibly want in an SUV, into their car, into this, and so it's got like anything you need in an SUV. And then they've slowly removed the truck-like parts of it and just turned it into more of a family SUV when they realized that's what most people were buying them for anyways. So no, I wouldn't take that. This one, I think it looks better. The clear taillights, I think, make it look a lot newer than it is. And then just kind of the way that they designed it in general, I don't like it as much.
What's your favorite color?
My favorite color is probably blue. I really like the blue that's on this car. Kind of a lighter, shiny blue. Yeah, that probably qualifies as my favorite.
Mm-hmm. Is your Pilot your first car?
Yes. It's not the one I learned to drive in. I learned to drive in a 2005 Chevy Silverado on my grandpa's farm. That was his truck. But this is the first one that I actually get to call my car. And that gets called my car by other people, which I guess qualifies it as my car.
What is your dream car?
There's a lot of people cutting in today, jeez. Probably one of the new 4Runners, and if it was like lifted and had some bigger tires, those are pretty spectacular.
They look really good.
Yes, I'll probably put a picture in just so you kind of get what I'm talking about, because they look amazing, and I like SUVs the most, and I definitely want a reliable SUV, because fixing stuff is a pain. This intersection is also really cool. It's backwards, as you can see. It's like driving in the UK for 3 seconds and then you're back on the other side. Kind of random thought. But back to the 4Runner. That's probably my dream car, because I wouldn't exactly want like a sports car or anything, just because there's not an awful lot of use for that, especially if it snows or if you're trying to get anywhere that isn't paved. So I would want something bigger and able to carry more and take me camping and that kind of thing.
What is your realistic dream car?
That, I put an awful lot of thought into that, and that probably is this car that I own. Because where I'm at right now, it's like I couldn't even afford this car if I wanted to buy it right now. And so that would kind of make it my realistic dream car, because I have it and there's nothing that even compares to it that I could buy right now.